Don't matter. Want some rice? Of course you do.
Adventure games. Click on a ficus and spill some rye.
If you would have told me 12 years ago that a company would have had the balls to make a survival horror adventure game, I would have laughed at you. Because I was 9. And because that would make you insane! I mean, we're talking survival horror, like the Resident Evil games, where the laundry list of content is as follows, and I quote, bad controls, check. Horrifying monsters, check. Nerve-wracking combat, check. OCD inventory management, check. Simple puzzles, check. Bad camera angles, check. Lack of any depth of plot, check. Chex Mix, check. Wait. This is the wrong list. And slap that onto an adventure game where we talk about intricate and highly focused plots, perplexingly obtuse puzzles, no combat to speak of, an inventory bar to mock you with its emptiness. Your controls consist of clicking on the screen if you are lucky, and in the world of adventure games, camera angles. What are those? Yet here we are, modern day, fusing the two together like Dr. Frankenstein at a sewing convention.
Sure, I know what it feels like to be gone.
Yeah, that's right. If you read the title of this video, we're reviewing this.
Can you see it? How about now? Nope, I don't think you can see it.
The Walking Dead, based on the comic book by Robert Kirkman, and made by Telltale Games.
Well, I reckon you didn't do it then.
The game starts with our main character Lee being taken to prison. Gee, I wonder where they got that idea from.
You know what they say about reckoning?
I don't, but I reckon it's a lot like assuming.
I'm gonna go ahead and point out right now, the graphics, I like it. It went for that inked-in comic book style, which is perfect, because not only does it look fitting and unique, it doesn't use
Next Generation Ultra 5.0 Digipixel Shadows. It's in the game. You know it. I know it. We all know it. It's the next generation. Go crazy.
meaning that I've pretty much seen microwaves that can run this thing. And that's pretty cool. Or hot, depending on how you look at it.
Well, until the CD showers sparks everywhere anyway.
After talking with the 5-0 for a quarter of a century, you eventually get flung off into a ditch on the side of a road because, you guessed it, zombies. Looks like somebody forgot to take their medicine. And there's your premise. If this was your basic survival horror game, then this is the part where you start running around going kapow, kapooey, clack. On all those zombie heads, we're talking about sandwiches.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
One thing The Walking Dead has always been known for, however, is that it focuses much less on, oh my god, look at all the zombies. They are everywhere. They are in the kitchen. They are in the dairy. They're even in the graveyard. Not the graveyard! Instead, focusing on the people in this terrible situation. Yes, that's right, those oh so interesting and unusual
That's my boy,
people.
Ken Jr. We call him Duck, though. Dodging or quacking? Quacking.
Dad!
See?
If you don't believe me, Robert Kirkman helped oversee this game's development, so it's pretty close to how the originals were intended to be viewed. Minus Rick Grimes, of course, who Kirkman claimed should not be touched. A character-focused survival situation? Well, we must have a pretty diverse set of characters then, right? Well, of course we do. We got Kenny, Katja, Duck, Doug, Lily, Carly, Larry, Krista, Omi, Molly, Mark, and Lee. Not to mention Chuck the Hobo and Clementine.
Found some stickers in a drawer.
Oh, what's that?
Walkie.
You don't like children? You allergic to people under the age of 12? Well, she's honestly probably the best thing about this game, so you better learn how to be kid-friendly. Or at least kid-tolerant. Besides, her overall emotional design is based on the artist's daughter, and you wouldn't want to upset him. Now, would you?
Daddy said it's called a salt lick.
Yeah, but don't lick it. It's gross.
Did you lick it?
I don't know.
Of course, that means the game has enough dialogue to make 12 Angry Men seem like a stay in solitary confinement.
Hey! Shut up!
That's much better.
But what is an adventure game without dialogue? Adventure games have always tried to appeal to those old, outdated sensibilities of the 1970s. Like stories and a good setting. Who needs those? Yet, in The Walking Dead, unlike older adventure games, the dialogue is attached to voices and faces, and the characters actually care about what you say to them. The game even has a system in place for characters to hold grudges against you depending on what choices you make throughout the game.
You're not my friend.
I don't hate you.
Sure as shit haven't done anything for me.
Ow.
Shut your mouth!
So you're running like a coward.
Just leave me the fuck alone!
Cool. Oh sure, the game does have puzzles, but they're so simple and lacking in scope that they're embarrassingly easy, not even worth mentioning. That is, whenever they decide to vary the puzzles up to be more than just a game of Where's Waldo, where Waldo is a pair of batteries, some energy bars, and a TV remote, because those are all things that I need in a zombie apocalypse.
Dude, there's zombies everywhere. They just ate our neighbors. We gotta barricade the doors.
Not now, man. I'm looking for the remote.
What? The days of our lives are on in 5 minutes. Did you say? Days of our lives?
There was one particular puzzle that pulled the old adventure game standby of not making a lick of sense. What do I do? How do I get in? Glenn is a butt. I have to... wait. A pillow? Why doesn't Carly just shoot the pillow to open the truck? What do I do with the pillow? What do I do with this? Oh. I smother the zombie. Okay, fine. Just fine. I just smother the zombie. Everybody's happy. Do the cucaracha. But Timbertaft, you may say. It's primarily an adventure game. I don't care about graphics or gameplay or puzzles. I just want a good story. Well, in that case, might I suggest to you Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart? No? That's okay. I love you anyway. Traitor. The game is split into 5 episodes, with each having their own special game-changing decisions and lasting roughly 3 hours apiece. Episode 5 is the shortest at 1.5 hours. I don't want to spoil too much about them, but here's a quick rundown of the general quality of each. Episode 1, A New Hope. The long and redundant tutorial section, just put it in the manual, like Sierra used to. Establishes the characters. Kid is called Duck. Duck. Not much happens. Relevant characters become even more irrelevant. Where's Waldo? The pillow puzzle. Stack decision. The girl had a gun. Gun beats TV specialist. I'm not even being sexist. Get off my back, morale-meter. Episode 2. We ran out of food. Pretty good. Distribution of rations really evoked emotion. Electric fence. Power struggle between Kenny and Lily. Sympathetic and interesting villain of the episode. Overall, the episode just seems to matter more than the last did. Episode 3. Half of it is really good. Starts real slow, picks up about halfway, and then gets real emotional. How to properly use a Jeep winch. AKA, don't be Nedry from Jurassic Park. Subtle hints for puzzles that come up later. Clementine being cute. Lee is apparently really nearsighted. People die. Lots of people die. Lee's mom played the tuba. Lee shouldn't have eaten all those cheese sticks. Episode 4. Revenge of the Sticks. It kinda sucked. Quotes Ernest Hemingway. Inconsequential but pretty girl character introduced. A sewer level. Of
course, nothing really happens that is particularly memorable. Episode 5. This episode is so short it doesn't even. Despite its length, it is the best of the lot. Truly engaging. Good humor. All characters have their moments. Also, Lee's a badass. One of the most emotionally draining and powerful endings to a game that I have seen in years. So overall, the game's plot and dialogue is pretty phenomenally well written. Well, most of the time.
Holy hell. We thought maybe we'd lost you. You've been out a while, man.
Having branching dialogue choices in games tends to be a double-edged sword for game development. On one hand, it means that the idea of having a plot evolve as a result of your actions is a powerful draw to make people buy and play a game. Theoretically, it adds a lot of replay value. The flip side to this, however, comes at the expense of the developers. They create a story with a certain direction, and if the player doesn't adhere to that, they will likely not enjoy themselves. Plus, for all of its grandiose promises of every decision having an impact, there are really only a few key moments that matter. Here's a tree graph of all the decisions. For example, there's a decision you make in episode 5 where you need to go save a child. Unfortunately, not everyone seems to care as much as you do. If you made them happy with your choices, they'll be like, "Oh my god, friends forever." If you called them names and stole their lunches, well then, it's okay, because if you pick the right dialogue choice after they say no, they may still come, just like in real life.
Hey man, wanna go get an ice cream?
No.
But it's gonna melt! Turn to goop!
No! I cannot forgive you for killing my wife, my child, my dog, and digging 50 holes in my front yard.
Dude, I dug those as graves for them all. It was the least I could do.
You would do that for me?
No, I mean, yes.
Your sins are forgiven, my child.
That's a relief. Because this chunky monkey from Ben & Jerry's is sinfully good.
Now I know that back in the 90s, people had their own complaints. The puzzles were too hard and unforgiving. I don't even... But you know, Telltale, I love checkpoints every 5 seconds and all, but they aren't very useful in a game where I can never fail! What's that? Kenny didn't want to save you because you called him a stupid head? That's okay. Lee's just gonna get an adrenaline rush of superhuman strength, and he'll come out just fine. Fridge! Does The Walking Dead have an engaging and overall well-written plot? Yes. Does it have most of the elements of what can be categorized as an adventure game? Yes. Is it operating on a tired and overused concept? Yes. At the end of the day, the writing is limited by the fact that you are operating in a familiar setting. Zombie apocalypse. Everyone you know and love is going to die. Jeff ate all the peanuts, so he dies first. For what it was trying to do, the game pulled it off with flying colors. But there are no cool aliens. There are no masterminds. There are no changing variables. There's just one thing that can, at its core, keep the series moving forward. Continuity. The series will only be able to keep itself fresh if it continues to build the established relationships and continue their existence in this dismal world into which the players have wholly invested themselves. After a point, the players should be asking, is the title The Walking Dead meant to apply to the walkers or to the survivors? Now, I don't have much left to say, so before you go, I'd like to leave you with the immortal words of Jesus. I left you a present in the fridge. Who touched my notes? Oh, when I find whoever did this, I swear they're going to pay. They are going to... What the... That's my notebook! Give me that. Yep, that's definitely my notebook. Whoa. Let's see what that stupid fridge thing's about. Hold this. Oh my god. Roast duck! My favorite.